Training theory is a-changing these days. Things are a lot different now than they were 27 years ago in 1998 when I first started running. After that long of a running career and being able to coach for 15 years, I want to be able to share with you today some of the things in training theory that I am most excited by. These are things that are a little bit new. They might be new to you. They're on the forefront of some really interesting research coming out now in the world of physiology and exercise science. And these might hold the key to your upcoming new personal best. You might be doing some of them, but I hope at the very minimum, this gives you a few new ideas on how to upgrade your training so that you can keep getting faster. First thing I'm really excited about is just our understanding now of the fact that endurance training puts a lot of stress on the body, and it really does increase your protein requirements. You know, most of us have been running around with this idea that we need more and more carbohydrate. And of course, we are learning that fueling properly with high carbohydrate is really important for our race performances and how well we recover. But on the same token, it's just as important to get adequate protein. And what we thought was adequate protein really isn't. There's now guidelines for about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, but this does depend on you and your activity level. I did a really great podcast with Claire Shorenstein. She's a running coach, runner herself, and a registered dietitian on these protein requirements. So you can check out the Strength Running podcast for more on that. But at a minimum, let's maybe get some extra protein during the day. Let's take a protein shake. Let's not shy away from a protein-heavy meal, especially at night, so that we can benefit from that during our overnight fast. You're gonna feel more satiated. You're gonna recover better after workouts. There's also evidence that proper protein intake has been tied to more mitochondria development. So it's really interesting to see how our relationship to protein has changed as endurance runners. And this is one bandwagon I love to get on. The research that's coming out on heat training is also incredible. If I were really going after PRs right now, I would be incorporating heat training into my training program because the benefits are pretty substantial. Increased blood plasma volume, which is going to have a whole knock-on series of effects, including improving your red blood cell count. So heat training is really incredible. Now, we used to think of heat training as just, let's do heat training because we're preparing for a hot race. And of course, that's a good idea, but even if you're preparing for a cool race, you can still use the sauna, hot tub or jacuzzi, or really just running at the hotter times of day, maybe with an extra layer, as a way to get these heat training benefits. And it's probably true that less is more. We don't need to do hour-long sessions in the sauna. That probably has a bit of a health risk, but instead, we can maybe get in an hour of heat training spread out over the course of a week, and we're gonna get a lot of these benefits. So if you haven't yet tried some heat training, it is definitely one of these forefront ideas that a lot of high-level runners are taking advantage of. And I see no reason why we can't as well. As long as we're focusing on the fundamentals, we can add in this type of work, whether it's passive or active, to help us get those heat training benefits. I have upgraded my daily greens mix. You have to try how good Previnex's Gut and Green Superfoods mix is. It tastes way better than my last greens mix, and I'm so happy to have made the switch. Now, not just because it tastes better, but because it has twice the fiber, it has clinically proven ingredients that help with digestion and gut health, and it actually has fewer ingredients. And this is actually a good thing. My last greens mix had dozens and dozens of greens in it, but in such tiny quantities that you're not getting much out of it. I'd rather focus on quality over quantity. And like everything from Previnex, they have clinically studied ingredients that are going to help with your GI system, your digestion. It's going to reduce inflammation and really help with your gut health. So thank you, Previnex, for using clinically verified ingredients. You got to check out their amazing apple flavor on Previnex.com. And if you want 20% off, use code JASONGREENS. And by the way, for every order, Previnex donates a bottle of multivitamins to kids in need. So thank you, Previnex. One thing that I'm very excited to see runners embracing, because this was a hard sell about 10 years ago, is lifting weights and realizing that running is partly a power sport. Getting up some of these wild trails that I'm running right now, running fast, exerting a lot of force against the ground, and recruiting a whole bunch of muscle fibers. This is a power activity. It's not just an endurance sport. We need the endurance to obviously maintain the power over time, but I think thinking of running as a power sport is really interesting. I actually did an entire podcast episode with David Roche, who's the current course record holder at Leadville, on this idea and some of the things you can do in your training to get more power into your training program. Things like lifting heavy weights, and something I'm going to talk about next. But if you're not lifting weights, especially if you're a guy over 40, this is really going to be a big game changer for you, not just for your running performances, but also for your general health and longevity. So get a gym membership, outfit a home gym if you can, and we can embrace lifting weights, because stronger runners are definitely faster runners. Okay, the final thing that I'm kind of excited about that is a little bit new in the world of running science and training theory are really short uphill repetitions. Not really a hill stride, you know, I'm really thinking like a 30 to 45 second, very fast, steep uphill repetition. And just like lifting heavy weights, this is designed to make you stronger, to build power in your stride. And it also provides a really great injury prevention benefit, because you're just strengthening your muscles, you're strengthening all your connective tissues, your joints in a very running specific way. So, you know, we can add this as a secondary, easier workout during the week. Keep the volume very low. I'm talking 4 to 6 times 30 seconds, very hard uphill, as a way to recruit more muscle fibers and help you build that strength in the most specific way you can as an endurance runner. So these are some of the things that I'm really excited about right now in training theory, some of the things that I'm starting to build into the training programs of the athletes that I'm working with. And I hope they help you as you figure out your training. And of course, if you want any help, please let me know. Strength Running is here to make you into a better runner.